I just realized you can see my little amber reading light for reading in bed when this is too bright, if you're wondering what that is. Hello friends, welcome to today's video. Today's video is a little bit of a fitness challenge that I have set for myself because I am genuinely curious how far I can run on a treadmill after not having run on a treadmill in a year and not having done any jogging or running for 6 months. I started thinking about doing this challenge and then creating a video around this challenge because just last week the condo gym in my building opened back up again. So March of 1 year ago, when everything was put into lockdown, they closed down the gym in my building. Totally fair, totally understandable. And then as the year went along, there were apparently other condo gyms and building gyms that were opening, but ours didn't. I think they were really trying to figure out a way to do it in a safe manner. Now, there were points about 6 months ago where the pool that we have indoors here was able to open up. I think having a pool where you're not really touching a lot other than the water, which is chlorinated, was a little bit easier for them to wrap their heads around. And what they did with the pool, which is the same thing they're doing with the gym, is that you go online and you book it for an hour time slot, and you're allowed to use the first 45 minutes of that time slot, so that then there's 15 minutes in between to make sure you're not crossing paths with the person who booked it next, but also if they want to do any cleaning or sanitizing, that there's that 15-minute period. So they have decided to do the same with the gym, which means I can now have 45 minutes of access a day if I get online and book early in the morning, because you have to book day of. And my gym has a treadmill, an elliptical, cycle, which I don't need because I have one here, free weights, and some machine weights. Now, I only started jogging in February of last year, and I will link down below a video that I made about how I learned to run 5K. But it was basically January of last year I started to get the idea that I wanted to try to run 5K because I had never been a runner in my life. I don't think I had run any more than like 5 to 8 minutes straight, ever. And there's a big race weekend in Ottawa, the Ottawa race weekend, that happens in like May, June, I want to say, and I decided I was going to enter myself in a 5K and use that as the motivation to learn to run 5K. I downloaded a app on my phone, 5K Runner, which gave you a training schedule of like walking and running, and I started doing that in about February of last year, start of February. My plan was that I was going to start doing all this training on the treadmill in my building, which I did. I started waking up at 5 a.m. so that I could go down to the gym for an hour before I had to get ready and go to work. And I was doing that about every other day and getting through some of the training. I did know at some point I would have to transition to running outside, and I was already aware that running outside is more difficult than running on a treadmill. My original plan was that I was going to get to the point of being able to run 5K on a treadmill, and then I would transition to outside. And if I had to move back a couple of weeks in my training, I would do that so that I could build up to running 5K outside. Now, what ended up happening is that I had to transition to running outside faster than expected because of the condo gym shutting down. I was thrilled that I was able to reach the point of running 5K continuously outside before the day of the race weekend. Now, the race weekend was canceled, of course. They mailed me my medal, but I still ran 5K on the day that the race would have happened. The longest I ever ran for outside was 6K. But then I found as it got into July and August that I was having a really hard time getting past like the 2.5 to 3 kilometer mark. It was so humid out last summer. I was trying to get up really early to do my runs, and even then I just was having a difficult time with it. I can look back and see my history of runs from last year because I started using the Nike Runners Club app, which sort of maps your runs but also keeps track of how far you're running. And I can see that the last run I did was actually October 18th of 2020, so a little less than 6 months ago, but I only ran 2K, and prior to that, the last run that I did was in August. And if I look back through my distances, in October I ran 2K, in August I ran 3, I ran 1, I ran 3. In July, it was actually the last time I ran a full 5K. I did that in just over 35 minutes. But then the last time before that I ran 5K was at the very start of July. So you can see it's been a while since I've run a full 5K. So I am just curious, because running inside is so different from running outside because I haven't done it in so long. How far can I run on a treadmill? I really do feel like if I went outside right now and tried to run as far as I could, I would struggle to reach 2 to 3 kilometers. If I ran for 3 kilometers outside right now, I feel like I would be really proud of that. But I have no idea what to expect inside on a treadmill. Some very optimistic part of me feels like I could run 5K on a treadmill right now. My running time for running a 5K is about 35 to 37 minutes, and I have been using my bike and doing like 30, 35, 40-minute rides. So I have been keeping in cardiovascular shape a little bit. I'm definitely not in as good shape as I was in a year ago. Part of me feels like I could hit 5K, but then another part of me remembers the last time I was on a treadmill in training, how the most that I ran was like for 10 minutes straight. So I really have no idea what to expect. Am I going to tap out after like 2K or after like 10 minutes? Or am I going to be able to run 5K? I really don't know. So that is what this video is, for you to see with me. How far can I run after not running on a treadmill for a year? So there we go. Basically my plan is to wake up tomorrow morning, and as soon as I open my eyes, book the gym for some point. Hopefully I get it in the morning and go from there. See you guys with the results. So please excuse how I look. I just woke up. Well, maybe not just woke up, but woke up fairly recently, and my gym time is coming up in 20 minutes. I'm going to try to use most of the time in the gym on the treadmill, so I'm going to go walk up and down in the hallways for a little bit and stretch my legs so that when I get on the treadmill I can start jogging right away. I have no idea how this is going to go at all. Fingers crossed. Hi all, this is Editing Melissa, and I realize there's not a lot of footage of me running because I was concentrating on the actual run. I did take a little picture of myself and of the display when I was just over 3K into the run. It was this point where I knew I was probably going to finish it, but I was concerned that I had already been running for over half an hour and time was really going to be my issue. But I did take a shot at the end here to show that I did finish it. This is when there was 0.01 kilometers left to go, and I did it in basically 47 minutes and 40 seconds. So I did it. I guess my confidence was not unfounded. I am very red right now. Very red. I'm going to drink some water and cool down a little bit and take off this long sleeve shirt, which I was not jogging in. I just wore it to the gym and back. And I'll sum up my feelings a little bit more once I've cooled down. I thought I would give an overview a little while later when I'm no longer tomato red and gasping for breath. I wasn't gasping for breath, but I was very red. I was very pleased with that. Like I said, I had sort of two thoughts, and one was that, you know, I know that running on a treadmill is easier than running outside, so maybe I can just like, you know, bang out 5K. But another part of me was thinking, like, you haven't run in so long, you just might be able to do like 10 minutes and that's it. So I was really pleased with that. I think you can sort of see at the halfway point, or a little past the halfway point there, that I realized my issue was going to be timing more than reaching the distance, because I was probably jogging at not that much faster than my regular walking pace, and I sort of felt like I keep that up for a while. The issue was that I could only be in the gym for 45 minutes. So in the last kilometer, I kind of pushed it up a little bit higher. I mean, I moved up the speed a little bit as I went along. I really do think that this highlights how much easier running on a treadmill is than running outside. Because if I think back to my last runs I was doing outdoors, I was really struggling to get past the 3K mark, and that was when I was running much more regularly than I am now. I haven't run in 6 months until this morning. I think a big part of the difference is that when you're running on a treadmill, you're not actually propelling yourself forward, you're just sort of propelling yourself up and down and the treadmill moves under you. But I think I'm also realizing that the other thing is I naturally have to or do go faster when I'm outside. I think when I'm outside, I tend to run, even if I'm trying to take it easy, at about like 7.5 minutes per kilometer. And generally every time I've run 5K outside, I think the fastest I've ever done it is just under 35 minutes, but usually it's around like 37, 38 minutes. And this time it took me over 45 minutes. So I think my pace was, I'm able to run at a slower pace on a treadmill rather than outside where I almost have to go faster just to keep myself in a jog. All that to say, super pleased with myself. I'm pretty excited that my progress still stuck from a year ago, because I really was, when I was originally doing my Couch to 5K program, I remember having a real mental barrier about being able to jog for more than like 10 minutes at a time on the treadmill. And all of that seemed really intimidating. So to be able to go now and believe in myself that I can do it and then do it, I think it sort of shows that that conditioning has stuck with me, even if I am not in as good shape now as I was, you know, a year ago, definitely a year ago. I would say sort of the peak of my physical fitness in my adulthood was probably just before we all locked down last year, so pretty much a year ago. But one of my goals for this year I would love to do is to be able to run 10K. I would really love to be able to run 10K outside, but I'm feeling really positive about at least being able to run 10K inside, because I really felt like I could have kept going on the treadmill. So thank you for watching this video today. I would love to hear what some of your goals are for 2021 in terms of fitness, and also your thoughts on treadmill versus outside running. I do think that outside running is much more interesting, harder, but more interesting because you get to see more. There's just more variety around you, and it's nice to be out in the sunshine and nice weather when it is nice out. But for those of us here in Canada, sometimes treadmill running is necessary in the winter. If you have enjoyed this video and want to follow along with me on my health and wellness journey, please consider subscribing, hitting the notification bell, and if you like this video, please hit the little thumbs up button. Thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye!